from a mythological perspective, the fool is the precursor to the savior. And what that means is that if you're going to be great at something, you have to accept being bad at it to start off with. And I'm not saying that you're bad at it. I'm saying that the part of your brain
Yeah.
that goes, I can't do this because it's really bad, you have to
Hmm.
engage with that and go, yes, but A, why am I judging it as bad? Because what does that really mean? And maybe I'm judging it as
Exactly.
bad in this moment, but I might look back in a week's time and go, actually, that was a lot better than I anticipated it would be. And B,
Hmm.
oh, whoops, B, damn it. Okay, never mind. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it is about, accepting the element of the fool and allowing that to not hold you back. And
Mm.
you should write about poems that you should go to places that you don't want to go to, because there's a great quote
Mm.
which is, that which we most need can be found where we least want to look. And I think it's
Definitely.
brilliant. It's like it relates to, if you imagine we're all sort of people walking around and we're sort of off, we're not balanced, we're leaning one way, and if we maybe chuck a few more balls on the other side, we'll balance out a little bit. And it's, we don't want to balance ourselves out because we're leaning a certain manner, but
Yeah.
everything, and that's what anxiety is, and a lot of what mental health is it's overcoming that, allowing yourself to go where you don't want to go, because where you don't
Mm.
want to go is where you need to go. And that's a really hard thing to do, to get your head around. So if your brain says don't do something, then that's a good sign you should probably do it. Not all the time, but within reason. So yeah, that would be my little, yeah, because I think you'll improve. You'll get, it will, as we talked about earlier, broadening your ability and your capacity. Doing that, writing about what you don't want to write about, would be really, really
Mm.
important.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is something that I'm all like constantly, that's the main thing that I'm working on, is trying to push myself to write about things that I don't want to write about, but also writing in a way that's different to how I normally write, or
Yeah,
just writing whatever comes into my head and accepting that that might not ever, no one, like no one will
no
read
one
that
has to see it.
probably, because I
Yeah,
don't, yeah, no one needs to see it if I don't want anyone to see it, which I think becomes a little bit hard when there's a lot of pressure on, like, for example, I'm writing my second book at the moment, and I put pressure on myself to do that at a certain pace and make sure that there's a lot of good poems in there, and there's a lot of poems in there. And when I'm wanting to create a certain quantity and a certain quality of something, creating something that isn't of that quantity or quality feels like a failure, which is
yeah,
something that I'm coming to terms with, the fact that, like, I need to get through a lot of bad ones to get to the ones that I deem as good, which is something that is becoming a lot more freeing whilst I'm doing it. Just being able to write things and being like, I don't need to put that anywhere. No one ever needs to read that. I can just have that for me, and it's out of my head now, so I don't need to worry about it. Because definitely a lot of the anxieties that build up in my head can come out of poems that I'm like, I don't I don't think that's very good. I just wanted to get that out of my head, kind of thing. Like, it's very much also a
absolutely.
fine line between poetry and like journaling, because a lot of the things
Yeah,
that I could write in my journal could be poems, and a lot of the things that I write as poems could also have just been from my
be in your
journal, if you get
journal.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very intertwined.
It's a bit. Ed Sheeran uses the analogy of turning on a tap, and how first off, all the rubbishy water comes out, and I suppose if you turn the tap off whilst the rubbishy water's coming out, you'll never get to the good water. You just have to let that rubbishy
Yeah,
water come out, and then eventually you'll get a steady stream of.
yeah, that's really interesting.
But it's so. I was, as you were saying that, it's so